All right, good morning, everyone. Smith, and I'm doing another live stream on harassment because the other one was blocked for a copyright infringement. All the way blocked. The Fleetwood Mac song that I played, The Chain. I know this is going way, way back in time, but I'm a connoisseur of music. I like all kinds of music. I'll go way back to 1920 and 30 and 40 and play some Bing Crosby. Yeah, a lot of people my age don't even know who that is. But nonetheless, Fleetwood Mac, The Chain. Fleetwood Mac was not happy with me using their song on my live stream. So they didn't just block it in Zimbabwe and Timbuktu. Some of these artists, they'll block it in a country that I really don't care if my live stream gets heard in. But Fleetwood Mac blocked it altogether. And the interesting thing is the video is still up. It's just you can't access it. But I thought it was strange that YouTube wouldn't just go ahead and remove the whole thing like they did the Dr. Phil show that I had up. I had that episode of Dr. Phil with that Jehovah's Witness couple, that strange Jehovah's Witness couple and their strange cases, child abuse cases and shunning or whatever have you. But CBS was not very pleased with me and that video being up on my channel. So CBS not only got it blocked, but they got it removed. Bam, out of there. People are not even going to be able to click on the video to see that it's blocked. They just want the whole thing gone. But that's CBS. They're a much bigger dog than Fleetwood Mac. So, their lawyers are much higher paid, and I assume they're probably a much higher grade of attorney than, say, Fleetwood Mac. But I don't know. You never know. I mean, you have some southern backwoods lawyer that comes out of nowhere and just blows, Harvard law school graduates out of the wazoo. That happens all the time, especially out here in LA. I mean, I've seen some stuff go down in courthouses and courtrooms and outside of courtrooms and libraries, in research libraries, that will make your jaw drop. You think, you got to have a big, fancy, big time lawyer, and those are important. They are. It's nothing like a qualified professional to handle the job. However, it's not a guarantee. It is certainly no guarantee. And sometimes the strangest stuff happens. You could have a self-taught person, a self-taught lawyer. There's a lot of them around here in California. You could have a self-taught lawyer just completely blow a winner out of the game. We all have our bad days, no matter how good you are. You do have your bad moments. We all have our moments where we slip, and all it takes is for the right guy or lady that's hungry enough, that studied you enough to catch you on your off game one day, and that's it. Because people don't care what you've done all these years before, they're looking at what you're doing now. And if you've had a winning streak in courtrooms and in law cases for a zillion years, but you lost yesterday to Joe Blow who came out of nowhere, sorry for you, pal. Okay, let me stop with that. Good morning, everyone. We have 7 viewers tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I haven't seen the live chat yet, but I want to thank you for tuning in this morning and in the future. Hopefully, this song here, it said copyright free, so hopefully this live stream is going to stick, and YouTube and whoever won't have a problem with it. All right. But if you haven't listened into the previous live stream, it was 5 hours long of me talking about people harassing me. And I think we threw in a few other things too. We didn't just stick on them. But with the new people logging in and out, asking questions like, who's harassing? What's going on? I had to pretty much start the explanations over again. And I didn't mind. I was on a rant that day. I wasn't really all that sweet feeling and fluffy feeling that day. So I was a little bit more uninhibited with my rant. And I really don't like to use a lot of expletives. I don't really care how people look or what their personal situation is. I wanted to make that clear. Okay, this is good. I wanted to make that clear. And I don't think I made that clear in the last live stream. So before we go on today, I want to make it perfectly clear to you. I don't really care about people's personal situations. We all have different situations, right? And truth be told, a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and Jehovah's Witnesses are on the system. They're getting disability checks. Let's just put that out there right now. And I know a lot of people are self-conscious about that. But a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are on the system. They're getting welfare checks. They're getting disability checks. They're getting food stamps. So let's put that out there. It's a large number of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. And when you look at where they came from, you can totally understand why. I'm not knocking people who are on the system. I'm not knocking you if you don't have a job right now. I'm not knocking you if you haven't had a job. Like I said, I don't know people's personal situations to care enough about them. I don't care how you look. I'm not the best looking person. There's always somebody better looking than me. I know that. And somebody better looking, no matter how good looking you are, there's always somebody who looks better. And there's always somebody who looks worse. It's not anything to care about, right? But after 6 months of being harassed since October 2017 by the same people, these people, I have made known to them, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm done with you. Leave me alone. I've unfriended them. I have blocked them. Now, you'd think a 6-year-old would figure out if their friend blocks them on Facebook and blocks them on Twitter and blocks them and doesn't want to be around them, and now you're blocked, that 6-year-old would be able to figure out with a 6-year-old brain and the IQ of a 6-year-old would be able to figure out that these people don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to be around you. Okay? Out of sight, out of mind, right? It's one of the best ways to ensure that there's not going to be any fight, that there's not going to be a conflict. The conflict has been resolved by removing yourself from the conflict and the drama. Now, this isn't a technique that you want to use every single time there's a conflict. You don't want to use this with every single person. It's pretty severe. But if you have to use it, you must. But that's for you to decide in your life how you want to use that kind of a boundary. And we each have that right. You have the right to set boundaries according to how you feel you need to do it with what you have right now. Tomorrow might be a different game, but right now that's where you're at. And I have the same right too. And so does the next person and the next person. We all have that right. That's human rights. That's our natural human rights. But unfortunately, in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, people tend to bring in the dysfunctions of their background. They can't help but to, right? If you don't know, if you're ignorant of what boundaries are, I mean, you might know the word boundaries and you might understand it's a line separating something, but you've never really lived boundaries, healthy boundaries, then I suggest one of two things. I suggest number one, you go educate yourself on some mental health. You go read up on what boundaries are. Because if you're going around thinking that boundaries is the same thing as fighting and the same thing as shunning, you have some mental health confusion. There is a serious mental health confusion. And I'm not saying that people are mentally diseased or mentally ill here. What I'm saying is you lack some knowledge concerning a part of mental health, which could, if you educated yourself, if you took enough time and thought of yourself enough to educate yourself on what healthy boundaries are, then there is a likelihood that your personal mental health could be greatly enhanced. And you could save yourself a lot of trouble. You could save yourself a lot of drama, a lot of conflict, and you might not be losing some good friends. You might be able to save some good friends in the future. Okay? But if you choose to remain ignorant and if you choose to remain set in your own ways and you're convinced of your own rightness, then that's fine. That's fine. But let's get back. Let's take a look at the chat room. I want to take a look at who's here and greet everyone and say good morning. It is 7:26 over here. And then we'll get right into who, when, and where, and what. And I have an echo. Here we go. All right, we have Carol and Jody in the live chat. Good morning. BA Watchtower Education. I don't block this guy as he is a window into the community. All right. King of Faders. Good morning. I know JWs that are on disability because they're unable to work. And Pioneer. Oh, let's not get into that. Sour Blaze Haze. That's good to know, King. Let's see. We have Southern Boss Lady. Hello, good morning. All right.
Well, honey, let's get into it, honey. Oh, there is my flight, honey. Okay, honey. So, honey, let me get into this, okay? We've been having these people harassing, and you know what? I have to say, that's what Jehovah wants, is everybody to be harassing and fighting, boo. Everybody to be harassing and fighting. So you had made Jehovah laugh, honey. You made Stephen Letty up there in the governing body laugh.
All right. So Sister Smith had her word and all that. Sister Smith is saying that this is making the Watchtower happy. I couldn't give a shit about Watchtower being happy or sad, really. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do my way the way I'm gonna do my activism. And there's nothing that Watchtower or XJWs can do about it. All right, so this is my warning rant. I wrote it in during the time when I was really annoyed because what's happened is this guy, he calls himself Professor Martyrdom. Okay, I call him Marty or Martini because a professor would have to have a PhD, a university education, And I don't think this guy has even a high school diploma. I'm not too sure if he's got that. So, you're going to need to get certifications for me to give you that title, professor. But I will call you Marty or Martini or something like that. And then you have his little side bunny, Amanda Allen Blair. That's her online name, uh, the one bun. Now, here's the story. Here's the thing. I met someone named Big Boss, 411 Big Boss, and I met him online, and he asked me to come on his show, The Bad Show. So I went on the show, and I had a good time. I met this Professor Martyrdom on there, and his wife Grace Ghostwriter, and then also later, because I went on more than one show, here and there, whenever I could, I joined them in. It wasn't like I was trying to be part of any program or any kind of group, but I was lending my energy, time, and attention, and I thought everything would be cool. I had a strange feeling, probably 3 or 4 shows in, because this martyrdom, he seemed to want to take the lead behind the scenes. He's very quiet on the, when it's broadcasting. He doesn't really say much, but behind the scenes, he yells at people. So I'm told from that, from one of his people there. Excuse me. So what happened was, I guess, Big Boss gave these people the password to the bad channel, and they took over. And they told him, "You're voted out." So he couldn't do anything because they changed the password on him. They just pretty much hijacked that channel. And, the guy walked away, and he didn't tell me immediately. So I was still doing shows with these people, and I didn't know what kind of a viper pit was going on behind the scenes. So when he finally told me, he told me what this martyrdom had said about me, and it was almost word for word. There were a few little differences to personalize it, but word for word, it was the same thing he had told, martyrdom had told me, to me, about 411 Big Boss and Bexy Boo and Denise Hedberg and Mia T and Joel Martz and Gilbert Gonzalez and all these other people. Okay, so I knew this wasn't a lie. And then when they sent me all kinds of screenshots from other things, you can't lie with screenshots. And his language, the words that they used to tell me what he said was exactly his language pattern. You see, I know when people have been in other people's ears because they tend to pick up those people's language nuances and language patterns. And these things, you have to really, really know yourself. You have to be really self-aware to catch yourself, to try and not let those things slip up. It's a lot like a verbal knee jerk when the doctor hits you with that little gavel on the knee. He pops that little gavel on your knee, and your knee inadvertently jerks and kicks forward. Well, you do those knee jerk things with your language. You see, I'm a writer, sweetheart. I know about language. Language is my thing. And these are things I look out for, and I'm very keen to, because language and words shape people's perception and reality. You can do a lot with words and language. So I have a warning rant up because this martyrdom has been sending. First, he started with the bunny girl, the girl Amanda Ballin, that Amanda girl, and he had her come to me and her try to manipulate me into coming back. And she thought I was, really good friends with somebody that she knew. So she told me some bad stuff about that person to try and influence me against them. and tried to make herself look better than that person, and this is her own friend. So I'm already like, oh hell no, this is not somebody to be trusted. Because if she's dogging her friends to me behind their back and telling me this terrible stuff, I mean, this stuff is terrible to the point where I didn't even want to hang out with that other person anymore. Because, even if that person came back to me and said, well, no, it's not true, it's so disturbing. It just leaves a tick in your head about people. And I said to myself, this Amanda Allen Blair girl is not somebody I want in my circle of friends. Because if she's doing that to that girl, to that lady, there's no telling what she's doing to me. And sure enough, her shit smearing came right back to me. She would volunteer. She comes out of her own volition to volunteer to help me with my own personal activism project. She came to me 3 times out of her own. I finally gave her something to do. And do you know what she did? The minute she got it, she turned to other people and went and told them that Bob Smith is forcing her to help her with his activism. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? So I'm calling her out and this martyrdom out, because both of these people have sent Lady B. I don't even talk to Lady B. I talked to her husband, Black Sheep, I think is his name, a few times. And that was weird, because why would Lady B be in my box? I mean, if anybody from that couple wanted to talk to me, it would have been her husband. I didn't know his wife. I felt really strange talking to his wife and not talking to him, because his wife, Lady B, and I weren't, we weren't like that. I mean, I would say, hey, Lady B, how are you doing? But it wasn't like we had chats and chats for her to come in my PM box with this, we need to unify and we need to stop fighting bullshit. And then he sent Excelsior, Excelsior. Supposedly his real name is Rick. This guy, he didn't say we need to unify. He just started stirring up shit for this Amanda girl. Whatever she fed into his ear, he was like a puppet in my box. I mean, the dude didn't even have his own mind. You could clearly see her through him, and he wanted to please her and these people so dang bad. They dogged this guy. And when the screenshots were shown to this guy, you know what he did? He went right back to him to let them continue shit smearing him. So he's no victim. But this is how they roll. This is their main protocol. This martyrdom told everybody and their grandmother behind my back that the only reason that he and them tolerate me on their bad show and on their We Are the Warning label and on their Ask a Jehovah's Witness stuff is because I bring viewers and I know how to entertain people and that people like me. That's the only reason he had me on there. So look, bitch, get the fuck on. Move on. Okay, I'm not coming back to your shit. You ain't getting nothing from me. Because let me tell you something. Unlike you, loser, I don't have to tolerate anyone in my life that I don't respect and I don't like and I don't want. I don't have to tolerate anyone that I think is a little too weird for my taste, including you. So why don't you get yourself a life and yourself some self-esteem and treat yourself a little better and stop trying to get with people. All those people that are in your group, you don't respect. I know you don't respect because you told me so. So why do you keep up and put up with people in your life that you don't like, that you don't respect, and that you're not comfortable with? Because you can't do for yourself. You don't have a job. You don't have a car. You drive your wife's car. You don't have any money, and you don't have any social skills. You suck, okay? Ain't my fault. Get your ass out and get a job and work on yourself. Maybe you'd have more friends. Maybe you can stop bitching to people that people are stopping to talk to you and they're not trying to talk to you anymore and that people are starting to keep a distance from you. Well, maybe there's something wrong with you. All right. Trying to ride off of me. Parasites. So here's the rant. Warning rant. Here we go. You guys ready? We got 411 Big Boss in here. All right. He says it used to be so pure. And then King of Fader says, oh no, but popcorn. And then somebody said, we need a Sister Smith memorial video. Sour Blaze Hayes in the live chat says they must think their agenda is more important than your opinion to keep pushing. Southern Boss Lady says, oh yeah, let's get it started. All right, here we go. I'm going to get a drink of this Perrier water. There we go. All right. And now I want to make this clear again. I don't really care about how people look. I don't really care about your personal situation. But if you worked very hard, you worked 6 months to get this roast. You worked hard to get this E.com ass whooping. And I'm going to give it to you now. Here we go. I'm tired of broke-back manipulative pests enmeshing and sending people into my PM box, pressuring me with this, we need to unify, and they want us all divided. We need to unify bullshit. And the last one was Zeb Leatherman and this Joyce Taylor from this suicide thing. This suicide news report, you know, where the lady committed suicide and shot and killed her husband and kids because they were shunned and they let their kids go to college. You know, they were Jehovah's Witnesses and they were being shunned. They were born-ins. So it got to them. She shot the family and herself. Tragic. Excuse me. Terrible stuff. Well, their neighbor and friend, Joyce Taylor, also an XJW, went to the Kingdom Hall and crashed their Kingdom Hall and told these people what happened. And she went off on them and she videotaped it. It's all over YouTube. And then she got some media attention. She got on the local Fox 2 News. Great stuff. I don't have a problem with Joyce Taylor. But Joyce Taylor initiated a friend's request to me on Facebook out of the blue. When I accepted, because I looked and I saw, okay, this is Joyce Taylor. This must be the lady that did that thing on the news. And I looked on there. It said mutual friends, Zeb Leatherman. All right, no problem. I accepted. What she did next was she invited me to. She sent me this chat messenger invite. Okay, cool. I message her and I say, hey, thanks for connecting, reaching out. Thanks for connecting. My condolences to you about the family, and I'm here to support you. I've got a lot of resource files and documents I'm going to send you. Let me know if you want more. And the first thing I sent her is the murder letter. You guys know about the murder letter, right? The body of elder murder letter that's a directive telling some Jehovah's Witnesses in a Florida congregation to keep quiet about a self-confessed multiple murderer in their congregation. And what the 411 on that is, briefly, is that they have a quote-unquote brother that has confessed to murdering multiple people before he got dunked. And they don't call the police, just like with the pedophiles. They call headquarters. And headquarters, just like with the pedophiles, except for the two-witness rule, they just skip over the two-witness rule altogether. And they just say hush and keep quiet altogether and don't tell any congregation members because it could be very detrimental for him and his family. Oh, geez, what about the dead people, the dead bodies in his closet? Oh, no, that's all in the past. Jehovah's forgiven that. So this is the first thing I send her. It's a fully validated, redacted court document. My mind is on sending her court documents. Official resource. I'm trying to send her my resource kit, which is like 200 and something pages. I'm trying to send her about the serial killer, Kwahuru Guvan. I think I'm saying his name right. He's a Jehovah's Witness serial killer. Fresh, last year. Google that. I'm sending her this. This lady's messaging me back saying, thank you. Yes, I'm interested in info, but it's not about me. It's about all of us, and we all need to unify and stick together, and we need to stop fighting. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this lady doesn't even know me. She hasn't even introduced herself to me. She hasn't even properly greeted me. Like, hello, how are you? My name is Joyce Taylor. This is who I am. I'm doing this, and I wanted to reach out. Nothing. She just dives right into this drama shit. And I say to myself, what the fuck is this shit again? are these people retarded? They done got this lady. This lady is grieving. She is grieving over the loss of her friends and loved ones. And these motherfuckers have once again manipulated yet another person, a vulnerable person, into their own personal drama once again. They don't care who they hurt. This lady is not trying to do their thing. She's trying to get some resolution for this shit that's done happened to her. She's trying to work over the guilt of, what if I had called her the day before she killed herself and her family? Maybe I could have stopped this. What if maybe I could have said something to her to stop this? That's what this lady's going through. And these people are using it once again like parasites. They got to feed off of people's misery and then manipulate them into doing their bidding, their enmeshment, and their triangulation. So I don't have a problem with Joyce Taylor. I love the lady, but I gotta love her from a distance because she's done got herself enmeshed in some crap that I have made a point, I have resolved to stay away from. And I'll be damned if it's going to come anywhere near my life. I'll do whatever I need to do. And if I have to file restraining orders, then I will. I never thought the day would come that I consider filing restraining orders towards other XJWs. But perhaps you're not really an XJW because I've never even heard your story. But anyway, I look on this Joyce Taylor's profile, and I look on there, and it says mutual friend Zeb Leatherman, and something in my gut tells me Zeb Leatherman is behind it this time. I know he's not the ultimate culprit. So I message him directly, and I ask him, do you know anything about this and why this lady is doing this? And he fesses up. He tells me, well, I know I can be annoying, but it's out of good intentions. And it's not like this man and I haven't had this conversation. He knows where I stand. I have told him that I will block people that come into my box with this. I won't entertain any of their arguments. They will go on block. So it's not like this man did not know. But he felt like he had to try and change my mind and do it in a slick, manipulative way. And that's why I blocked him too. I unfriended him and I blocked him. And I will love both Zeb Leatherman and Joyce Taylor from a distance. I even gave Zeb Leatherman money. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't nothing to write home about, but it was something. And I wonder if all those people that he's doing the enmeshing for, wonder if they gave him something, because I don't think they have any money to give to anyone. They're barely trying to figure out their own place to live. Okay? But hey, that's on you. That's on you. I was thinking about doing a regular thing, because I knew the guy was living in his car and he had a situation going. And I was, I was thinking about doing some regular contributing to him. But no, if you can't respect me, first of all, number one, if you had a problem with me and my decision and my boundaries, you could have talked to me man to man. I'm not trying to change your mind. I was okay with you hanging out with those people as long as you kept it separate from me. We had this discussion. We had this. So I didn't have a problem if you hang out with these questionable, sketchy people. Your goal is different than mine. Your thing is the shunning thing. My thing is the child abuse thing. And yes, you'll use the child abuse thing to get at the Jehovah's, but your thing is the shunning thing. That affects you the most. I understand that. But if you had any kind of decency, you could have talked to me man to man. Why send these people behind my back to try and change my mind and manipulate me into doing things and changing my mind? That's number one. And number two, if you had any kind of self-esteem or self-empowerment, you wouldn't have given a damn about my decision in the first place, because it wouldn't have taken anything away from you and what you're doing or your crew. That's number two. I don't send people into your PM box to try and tell you not to hang out with them. I didn't send people to try and manipulate you and try to shape your perception or try to get you to change your decision into what I thought you should do. I didn't do any of that jazz. So why must you feel to do that to me? I don't know, and I don't care, because I blocked you. So Now, here's the rant. Warning rant. I'm tired of broke-back manipulative pests enmeshing and sending people into my PM box, pressuring me with this, we need to unify, and they want us all divided. We need to unify bullshit. Yeah, I'm calling you out now. I really didn't want to have to go there, but you worked hard for this roast. You worked hard for this roast. You worked extra hard for this roast. Where am I at? I don't make it a point to use expletives and talk about people like this, but I'm only human and I've reached my limit with these learning disabled retards. Yes, learning disabled retards in the sense that they don't take no for an answer and they cannot seem to understand what healthy boundaries are. Your brick hard, man faced, cockroach face needs to look after your kids and get a job and grow the fuck up. All that time you spend pestering me with triangulation of other people, you need to be using that time to get your kids a stable home and take care of your kids before they end up in the system like that Tatiana girl on CPS. You need to watch your little daughter and make sure the strange men whose couch you're living on don't get too friendly with her while you, mama, is away and distracted with her psychotic online shenanigans. That's what you need to do, because I think if you spent half as much time pursuing a job and trying to get a stable place to live for your kids and set up a stable home life for your children, if you spend half as much time doing that you do pursuing me and bugging me and other people for your stupid little broke back quote unquote activism group, then maybe your life would be a little better. And your dyslexic cockeyed friend with his paper thin ego, he needs to get up off his ass and get a job too and quit letting his lady pay for his every need. Trifling trick. You calling me lazy? Bitch, you're the fucking lazy motherfucker. You need to get a job. I got a job. I make my own money. You're over there looking for your wife, your girlfriend to hand out something from the government. You got the nerve to call people lazy when your ass don't even have a job, you lazy bastard. You lazy, hypocritical bastard. Oh, Jehovah, honey. You tell him, honey. This has been going on since October 2017, and I am done. I don't give a damn who you are, quasi-celebrity. I don't care if you got a following of 1 million people. I don't give a shit if you're Leah Remini. I don't give a shit if you're Pee Wee Herman. I don't give a shit if you're Donald Trump. I don't give a shit how famous and how much social proof and followers and subscribers you have. I don't give a shit if every last person on this globe thinks I should be your friend. I will unfriend you. I will permanently block you and click you out of my life. And there will be nothing you can do about it. You can try, but you're going to end up disappointed with me. I made up my mind at 8 years old that I was going to tell the world about the abuse I'm going through at home. I was 8 years old. I can remember that day crystal clear like it was yesterday. And I made up my mind that with every beating I got, I was going to solidify that decision all the more. And I've went through a lot of beatings. Shit you can't even imagine. And that was before I had my surgeries. So I know how to endure some pain. I think I can safely say I set the standard on pain. And I can do without a lot. So whatever bullshit you try to manipulate, realize it's nothing compared to what other people have tried to do to get me to change my mind. And here I am still doing what I set out to do. So you are way out of your league. But okay, now, I don't give a damn if you are a quasi-celebrity or whoever. I have my own solo project. This is my own solo activism. Unlike you, I don't need other people in my mix. I don't need nobody. I'm the main core person. All I need besides me is the technology. Don't need you. So, unlike you, your pathetic life and your pathetic group, I don't have to have anybody in my group that I don't want to because they ain't nobody but me in it in the first place. Respect my motherfucking boundaries, troglodytes. Yeah, I'm going to say this to you. Troglodytes. And if you don't know what that word means, Google it. Perhaps you need to go to the library and open up a book. You know, books are your friends. Don't be afraid of books because most of those people in that group don't read. Although I am more than willing to support people, I am not here to make friends. I do not need to have friends. I do not need to have a family or a group to support me and validate me. Unlike you, I don't need other people. It's wonderful if other people join in, but there is no pressure on them to do anything. I don't yell at people like you to get them to do something for me. I don't have to. Number one, I don't want them to do anything for me, but if they do, they come to me. They ask me out of their own volition, and it's not because they feel obligated either, dumbass. My op is 100% self sufficient, independent, and sustainable all on its own. My number one priority is to expose Watchtower's child abuse. Anything else is icing on the cake. I don't have a family to worry about whether they come out or whether they shun me, so I don't give a shit about the shunning other than, well, it's too bad, but it's not my main priority. I don't care about the blood stuff. I know people have had relatives die because they refused blood transfusion, so that's their main thing, not with me. I don't care about the UN stuff other than, okay, it's another piece that exposes them, but it's not my number one thing. So my goal and my priority is different, and it's not to be unified with people. I am now implementing Operation Unfriend and Permablock. If you want me to do the magic rabbit in the hat trick and have me disappear from your life, then by all means continue your bullshit. Practicing healthy boundaries is not the same as fighting. It is not the same as shunning. It is mental health. Ever heard of that? Mental health? I know it's a new idea. So if you can't understand healthy boundaries, then perhaps you need to get a mental health counselor to help you get it. I'm sick of this childish shit from people. So I've got one more thing I want to read. Denise Hedberg answers to that, and she says, damn, I guess someone sent you some BS, huh? And I say, yes. Denise Hedberg, yes. I had blocked them back in 2017, October 2017. And they continue to send people to my PM box and enmesh others into their manipulation and drama attempts. They are using any and everything they think is dear to me to try to use as leverage. It's a parasitic mentality that drives them, much like ticks, fleas, and chiggers. And that's how I see you now. That's how I see you. An annoying parasite like a tick, like a flea, like a chigger. All right, so we've got 13 viewers. We have 13 viewers, and let's see what we've got in the live chat. 411 Big Boss says, he said, brick hard, man face, hard face, roach face. Damn, LOL. Sour Blaze Hayes says, ha ha ha, Operation Unfriend and Permablock. Yeah. King of Faders, this type of foolery is why I keep a healthy distance from everybody. LOL. I know you do, King of Faders, and I'm going to start taking some notes from you because, it's just not worth it. And truth be told, this group has really, it's hurt the community because it's made quite a few people back off. and it's making me back off too. Not so much my own personal activism flow, because like I said, most of my stuff is automated now. I have a few things that are semi-automated, so periodically I do have to be involved in it, but it doesn't require me talking to XJWs. This is strictly just straight up activism stuff. Excuse me. And I'm not going to do any more Kingdom Hall crashes. I don't think I'm going to do any more cart crashes. I think there's several reasons, but this is the number one reason. I'm not going to join in other people. I was going to join in the summer convention. I had bought all kinds of equipment. I had bought a personal megaphone, a mini PA system. I have spy cams. I bought quite a few pieces of equipment to go out and do some crashing of the convention this year and doing some more Kingdom Hall crashes. I had planned to do some more Kingdom Hall crashes with Zeb Leatherman, actually, but I won't be doing any more with him. And I think I'm just going to just not do that, the crashes anymore, because I don't think it's worth the risk anymore. Number one. Number two, I have my doubts as to how effective it really is. I mean, I think it is effective. I think it gets attention. But other than getting attention, I really don't know any kind of analytics. I don't really have any measurements and gauges to really gauge the effectiveness of me doing a Kingdom Hall crash as opposed to me doing a mass emailing or calling up a police sergeant, voice to voice and talking to a live police sergeant, or emailing someone from a governmental agency and having some kind of rapport and getting someone arrested. Like with Elizabeth Drake, she actually did contact police and DA and got a Jehovah's Witness pedophile arrested who was her brother. And there are other people that have been covered up that they're now finding that have also been molesting some of those kids. So as opposed to, just simply crashing a cart, I don't know how to measure that effectiveness. So for me personally, it's just something I'm going to 80-20 and leave aside because I'm focused on the 20% that gives me the 80% results. That's Pareto's law. It's a law of economics. Basically, it states that out of your efforts, only 20% of your efforts result for 80% of your desired results. So with that in mind, that was one of the things that I decided to let go. And another reason I let go of the Kingdom Hall crashing is because when I did do the Kingdom Hall crash with I'm Wordly, aka Zeb, I as you guys might know, there was a guy that confessed that there was a pedophile problem in the congregation on cam. And he actually turned out to be, so rumor had it, to be one of the pedophiles, because he was shuffled away. He was sent to another congregation shortly after I crashed. They split that thing up real quick. And another Jehovah's Witness there, they sent them to another congregation. I tried to get I'm Wordly Zeb to help me go to the police, because when I called the police there, the local police, about this guy in this video, and I wanted to send it to them, they told me that they don't take this kind of information over the phone, and that you have to come in person. Now, this is a city a little bit further away from where I live, and I share a vehicle, so I don't always have a vehicle to drive there directly. And of course, you could use the bus system, the train station, and all that. But I figured since Zeb and I both did that crash, that he would want to join in and also be a witness for that. So I messaged and I posted, and nobody, there was crickets. There was promises, yeah, I'll talk to you next week about it, but it just never came to fruition. And I tried calling that police station, I don't know how many times, 20, 30 times. I got a different sergeant each time. I got their name, and they said they would call me back. And I even wrote by mail. I put the stuff in an envelope and sent it. And I called Child Protective Services. They told me that they can't do anything unless you've already, written to the police. They said, "Is there? You got to have a specific child that is in danger." And I said, "I don't have the name of the child, but I have a video uh, cam, in a public place with the guy admitting that that there's molestation going on, and that they're not calling the police." So they said at CPS, "You're going to have to call the police, and we can't do anything in this." And, it was frustrating. So after I had written to the police station, I just set it aside. And I told myself, this is pissing me off. Number one, because there's too much apathy around this. So I did what I had to do and I let that go. But I told myself I'm not doing any more Kingdom Hall crashes because nothing comes of it other than just getting viewers and other than just getting attention. Most people don't give a shit beyond that. I mean, you have a real bona fide confession on cam. The guy himself, who has been thought to be the molester, tells you on cam they've got a problem, and you're just gonna keep on going, you know. So I realized, okay, well, these people, their priority is not the child abuse thing; it's the shunning thing. That's why they're not really trying to get behind it like I am. I get it now. So I don't really want to, be part of whatever they're doing because I'm not on the same sheet of paper with them. Aside from their, backbiting and their covert manipulation shit. So, excuse me. So there's that one part of it. So that's one reason I'm not doing Kingdom Hearts crashes anymore. I don't really know if it's all that effective. I have my concerns about it. And then number two, it's too much of a risk. They're throwing out restraining orders left and right, bogus restraining orders on people. They've got Adrian, and do I want to have to go through that? I mean, I know I could protect myself, but it's going to cost time, energy, and money to do that. And is that really worth it just for these people in the community to ooh and ah and okay, I'll get more subscribers, I'll get some likes, you know what I mean, I'll get some more followers, but other than that, then what? Now you've got attention, but then what? You know what I mean? Now what? You've got attention, and that shit wanes. You know what I mean? People get bored with you after a while. You're famous now for 5 minutes. You know, you're admired, and oh, that's so great. It can feel good, especially if you're being shunned by your family. You've got this group of people that thinks you're the best thing since sliced cheese. It can feel good. I don't think I don't know if I could manage to stay balanced if I had a zillion people oohing and eyeing over me. It might get to my head for a minute too. I'm only human. But when you have a solo op and you're not really out there like that, you have all of that. You don't have to worry about those kinds of distractions because everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. And when you have a large following and you have a lot of attention, a lot of media involved and all that, you can end up drinking your own Kool-Aid. You can end up skipping on some of the important things, like, when you have somebody confessing right on cam, that you might need to do police follow-up. And that doesn't just happen in 1 or 2 days. These things take time. But if you're just trying to hit Kingdom Halls for other reasons, I don't see a problem with it, I guess, but I just don't see it's working for me, And cart crash is the same way. I don't want to do cart crashes anymore. I'm just quite bored with it now. I've seen so many cart crashes. I've been to cart crashes. I've done them, and I don't know. I'm just bored with them. It's always the same thing anyway. If you've seen one cart crash video, you've seen them all. Same thing with the Kingdom Hall stuff. They were exciting at first because I didn't see. It's like the first time you see somebody in the Kingdom Hall doing this, but now it's just another video, and you're just gonna see the same lies. You got the same J-hoes telling you the same thing, pretending they don't know, or telling you that everybody does it. So stop pointing at us or whatever it is. Calling the police. It's nothing new. So, all right. 411 Big Boss says, "Damn, ticks, fleas, and chiggers." Yes, ticks, fleas, and chiggers. Got to get a can of Raid for these people, man. He says, 411 in the live chat says, gotta give it to Bobby. He went to law enforcement and reports things, not just makes a video. Exactly. 411 Big Boss says, it is effective, Bobby. The people inside cannot unsee what you did. Yeah, I think the cart crashing and the Kingdom Hall crashing is effective to an extent, but I think at least for me, I don't think I can work it to be any more effective than what I'm doing on the other ends. Now, someone else may be able to work the Kingdom Hall crashing and the cart crashing to be more effective than I think I can, basically. So I'm saying it's not for me. It's not really my thing anymore. And you outgrow things. People change, and you redesign and reinvent your projects and your views. Even we all grow and mature in different ways. And I think the guy Adrian, who's doing the cart crashes, he might be able to do something with it better than I can. I think he stays pretty much solo. I mean, he's done a couple of them with Zeb, but he looks like he stays solo. So unless he gets involved with other people and then, gets distracted with whatever their personality quirks are, I think he might be able to. But, Zeb Leatherman, I'm Wordly. He has a few people that he told me he doesn't discriminate. He hangs on with whomever. And that's already where the issue is because he has certain people that I personally just don't feel comfortable with being around and that have proven themselves to be toxic. And not every last one of them, because there's one of them that I don't know personally, but I've definitely caught her in some deceit and some lies. And that's fine if he wants to hang out with those people, but it seems like he cannot stop trying to manipulate my decision not to hang out with them. So therefore, I've had to set a boundary with him and love him from a distance. I still wish him well. I wish him safe out there on the roads. I wish him safe with the Kingdom Hearts crashes. I hope he stays out of trouble. I hope he does stay out of trouble, and I hope he gets a happy life and the things that we all want, right? We want peace, happiness, and love. So, but and the same thing I wish for Joyce Taylor and really all of them. But right now, where you stand is you need to just leave me alone. And I don't care how many people you send to me. I see right through your ploy. If Martyrdom put half as much energy into looking for a job as he does sending people to me and to other people to manipulate us into coming back to your little clique and doing stuff for your clique, if you spent half as much time looking for a job, I'm talking about a real job, not these little, things on the side of the road where you stand by a traffic light and you wash people's windows while they're waiting on the red light for some peanuts. You don't get a 401k with that. All right. You don't get PTO with that. All right. All right. You can't pay rent with that. You can't pay mortgage with that. You can't buy any groceries with that. If you spend half as much time on really getting a job, you can go out there to Target. You can go out there to Target and get yourself a job. It's very easy to get a job at Target. You go to target.com, okay? You type in target.com and then you click on careers on their website. It's really easy. And I know it's probably not the dream job, but Target, at least you'll have something, and you can put that Target thing on your resume. And if you haven't had a job in a while, and you're not getting the bites because you're kind of old and you don't have a job history for the last 3 months, nobody wants to touch you. Well, then get up and volunteer at Target. Target will let you volunteer. They don't want to hire you. They will let you work for free. You're working for free anyway. You're sitting online and doing stuff for free. You might as well get a little money for it, right? And get a little respect from your wife to boot. Because she don't respect you. She might tell you she respects you because, she's not trying to hurt your feelings. But we all know the deal. All right? Seriously. Yes, yes, on the side of the road for peanuts. That's right. Isn't that what he's doing? He's washing windows for people at the traffic light for a couple of nickels and something, a couple of dollars. So I suggest that hour that you stand out there begging people to let you wash their car window before the light turns green, that hour that you stand there begging for that, so you can wash their windows right quick for a couple of dollars, you could get. Let me see. What is minimum wage in Texas? Let's Google this. I'm going to Google minimum wage in Texas, and let's see how much. Where is my phone? We're going to find out how much you could make. All right, because I know that you might not be really good at math. I think you might really do have a learning disability, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that. But let's see. What is minimum wage in Texas?
The minimum wage in Texas was $7 per hour in February 2015.
Okay, so that's not a whole lot, but I bet it's better than those peanuts that you're getting now washing those windows at the traffic light.
What, honey? He washing windows at the traffic light, honey. Well, honey, that's why he doing that, because he ain't got you over, honey. He got to stand up there at 6 in the morning, boo, when everybody going to work and to their real job, honey. He's up at the traffic light, honey, and he is begging. He got to sign up, honey. We'll wash windows for a couple of dollars, honey. We'll wash windows for booze, a bottle of booze, honey, anything, honey. And so, honey, what he does, honey, he got his bottle of Windex, honey, and he got a little cheesecloth in his hand, boo, and he got his little sign begging, honey, and then every once in a while, honey, right as the light turns yellow, honey, somebody will wave him over to come on and wash that window for $1, honey, and he has to hurry, honey. He got to hurry real quick, honey. He got to hurry real quick because it's yellow, right? And that yellow light, dang, it's so dang quick, boo. It's only 10 seconds, so that mofo got only 10 seconds to wash that window real quick. And then snatch that $1. But this time, boo, what the what the driver did, boo, as Marty, honey, as he went to snatch that $1 and those couple of peanuts next to that $1, boo, that driver snatched that $1 away and drove away, and he was left with nothing, boo. He worked so hard to try and clean that window, honey, but Jehovah did not bless him, honey, boo. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me stop being silly. So, yeah, we've got 8 viewers watching, and I am getting some PMs. I'm getting some messages. Yep, washing windows at the traffic lights. He has to hurry. That's right, because this, you know how those traffic lights are. You don't have a lot of time to clean them windows. You got to hustle. You got to hustle for them. And then some people don't even want to give him $1, man. They give him like a nickel. Can you believe that? He done washed all them windows there for a whole 8-hour day. He stood out there for a whole 8-hour day washing windows at the traffic light, and he's got a handful of peanuts. Some of the peanuts don't even have the nut in them. They're shelled already. The people have taken the actual peanuts out and given him the shells. That's what he's got left at the end of the day, is some empty ass peanut shells and maybe $1.25 in some change and pennies and nickels and dimes. And then he hands that to his wife, and she is like, honey, I don't think this is enough for our rent. We got to pay rent, and our rent is $780 this month. What are we going to do? I'm tired of forking over my hard-earned paycheck just to pay the rent. Well, I'm going to make it tomorrow, I promise. soon as I get some more of these extra Jehovah's Witnesses to do some work for me. Well, you better hurry up, because they don't seem to be wanting to talk to you that much anymore. Well, it's because of that goddamn Bob Smith. I can't stand him. Yeah, he's always got a problem with somebody. He's one of those difficult, prickly people. All right, let me stop playing around with that. I'm having too much fun. Sour Blaze Hayes says, when I was in Texas, it was like $5. Yeah, Texas sucks. They don't have a lot of money there. They don't give a lot. I mean, $7.25. Let's see what the average rent is in Texas. What's the average rent in Texas? Okay, let's see. Average rent is $875. Okay, so 875 divided by 725. Let's see how many hours would Martyr have to work to support his rent. 825 divided by 7.25. So he would have to work 113.79 hours a month. Let's divide that by 4 weeks. That's 28 hours, 28.44 hours a week. So that's part-time. That's not even too bad. He would only have to work 30 hours, 28 to 30 hours to have enough money to cover the rent. 28 hours. So that's 5 hours a day? 6 hours? Yeah, that's 6 hours a day. It's not too shabby. He could still have time for activism. Sour Blaze Hayes in the live chat says, I'm tired of it too. They don't care and don't listen. That's why I've been calling and emailing agencies that would care. JWs don't give a fuck. Well, I've got news for you. Most of the XJWs don't either. They don't. They'll use the child abuse stuff to get notoriety and attention to their channels, but they don't really care about it. You can tell because of the follow-up. If a person really cares, they're doing a follow-up. They're going to report. They're going to talk to policemen. They're going to talk to a DA. You know what I mean? Like you have. But the ones that don't care, they don't. It's just as simple as that. You're going to involve yourself into something that you care about. And if you don't care about it, you're not going to involve yourself. Plain and simple. Now, you can flap your gums and tell me and give lip service to anything you want, but your actions speak louder than your words. And that's just, you can't get around it. You can't get around that. It's a fact. Sour Blaze Hayes, yeah, the cost of living in Texas isn't all that bad, The real estate there isn't as high as it is here in LA. But it's one thing if you're going to call somebody lazy. You're calling people lazy. You better be perfect. You better have a perfect record. If you're bad-mouthing people and talking bad about them, you better be squeaky clean. And unfortunately, it's never the case for these people. Unfortunately for them, they've got a lot of dirt on them. So why are you picking on people and then getting mad when they start digging on you, and seeing you for who you really are? I mean, you have absolutely no credibility in my eyes whatsoever anymore. No respect. I don't respect you. I don't even think your fellow friends respect you, because you're hanging out with people you don't even like. You badmouth every single person. You badmouth Rick. You badmouth Amanda Allen Blair. You badmouth 411 Big Boss. You badmouth Joe March, Gilbert Gonzalez. You badmouth Mia T, Martha Irvin. You badmouth Denise Hedberg. You badmouth all your friends. So with friends like these, who needs enemies? And then I'll say this to everybody. This Marty person, he thinks he's a lot smarter than that Amanda girl. And he likes to yell at her. So she's been telling people, she's been going back and crying to folks in our community that this martyr person is yelling at her and he's pushing her to do things. I don't know if it's true. She said the same thing about me pushing her to do things. So I don't know if that part is true, but I think that the yelling part is true because I've seen him yell at other people. Several other people have come back with that yelling thing. So I think Martyrdom might want to sleep with one eye open concerning the people that are in his group, because I'll tell you one thing about that Amanda Allen Blair girl. She's the kind that'll whack his balls off while he sleeps. Yup, she's going to set him straight for yelling at her. She's the kind that doesn't forget that shit. But, he thinks he's smarter than her, and she thinks that, she got him in his back pocket. So, there you go. Sweet dreams on them. It's like a barrel of crabs or like a barrel of vipers. Shoot. And then she might want to sleep with one eye open too, because he certainly doesn't respect her. Some of the things he said about her to other people has come back to all kinds of people. I don't know if she knows what he's been doing behind her back, but okay, I'm sure they got it worked out with each other there. So yeah. Oh yeah, before 1-1 Big Boss. I don't have to do anything but just eat my popcorn and sit back and, let these people have enough time with each other. That's all you need to give them. Just give them enough time with each other. And then, they're going to eventually they're going to have their own implosion if they don't already, because you've got this Amanda girl going back and telling anybody and everybody she can all kinds of stuff about that Martyr person, that Marty guy, So, there you go. And that guy Rick, I think he's a glutton for abuse. I think he loves it. I think he loves when they talk bad about him, because that Amanda girl, she had just shit smeared him and just made him look like a fool behind his back. The dude spent all his money, all his government check money, and I think this Amanda girl told me he has a part-time job, but he doesn't have a whole lot of money. So whatever little money he had, Amanda Allen Blair, the one bun, she calls herself the one bun. She curses a lot. Every other word is motherfucker and fucker. You can't miss her. Like, if you hear her talk, you know who she is, because I think every other word is an expletive. It's like bitch, motherfucker, fucker. She calls her little cat a fucker. She's like, that fucker. Her little kitten. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, very limited vocabulary. But she is highly manipulative, and she's an actress. She acts. She can play a role. She'll play a role for you. She'll be any role that you want her to be. She'll size you up and try to figure out which role she has to play with you. You see? And she'll use it all. She'll use guilt, fear, obligation. She'll tell you she's suicidal. If you don't do what she wants, she'll try to make you think that she's suicidal, and then she'll post a half nude pic on her profile 5 minutes later, talking about Monday morning memories. She'll use anything. She'll try to figure out who's your friend and who you think a lot of, and then try to get in their ear to manipulate you to go her way, and then have that person come to you and then try to tell you some crap that she's already got. Hey, Bex O'Neill.
Hey, honey boo, you here for the tea, honey? Honey boo. Yes, honey.
Yeah, because the other one got blocked. I think it was Jehovah and the Devil blocking the YouTube video, actually. But where was I? You have what was I saying? Anyway, you have people that that Amanda girl. That's what I was talking about. That Amanda girl. Honestly, I think the martyr guy needs to sleep with one eye open around her, for real. But hey, I think they deserve each other, and it looks like they don't really have anything going. I haven't heard anything big. Whoop-de-doo. They're still trying to scrape people that don't want to be in their little clique. And what they're doing now, I'm assuming they're using this shunning thing. They're like, oh, he's shunning. You see what a bad person he is. And I think they're trying to chip away at the people that come to my channel or whatever. And, they're mad because they have, things are cooling off with them. People are keeping a distance from them. And it's painful. It's painful when people start keeping a distance from you. And they want to hold on to this lie that they don't know why. I don't know why, what's going on. Well, maybe if you respected people's boundaries, then people would want to have more to do with you. I know it's like really, really complex. I know this is like a huge, difficult thing to wrap your head around because you're a narcissist. Narcissists don't have any smidgen of an understanding of other people's boundaries. You see, that's why you can't figure it out, because you're a narcissist. And you won't ever figure it out, because narcissists are only about themselves. As long as you're stuck on your own self-centeredness and your self-absorption, you have to manipulate other people to do what it is you want. They don't come out of their own to want to help you with your stuff, your activism stuff. You know that's pathetic. And now I do too. You can fool other people. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. And you can't fool me because I see right through you, martyr. I see straight through you like crystal glass. I see right through you, Grace Ghost Rider, crystal clear. And I see right through you, Amanda Allen Blair, whatever you call yourself. And I see right through your ploys. Whatever face or body you send to my PM box, I see right through it. We've got 12 viewers watching. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We are talking about getting harassed, boundaries versus fighting and shunning. And Sour Blaze Hayes in the chat says, bitches be conniving. Yes. Bex O'Neill says, LOL. King of Fader says, I miss Bex ranting on the bad channel. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, we need to do a rant. Let Bex get on here and talk about these people. Yeah, she was going off on them yesterday. Calling them hillbillies, broke back hillbillies, and all kinds of stuff. King of Fader says, I guess I learned early. I pissed off some XJWs almost from day one. Yeah, you're going to piss off some people, by default. But yeah, I made the mistake of coming on somebody else's show, and, I won't be doing that anymore. Sour Blaze Hayes says, but their agenda is more important. Yep. Bex O'Neill in the live chat says, I pissed off many because I wasn't popular enough and my opinion was too big. Yeah. And this martyrdom talked shit about you too, even though you actually put on his warning label image on your social media. You were promoting his group. Bex O'Neill, everybody. Let me tell you about Bex O'Neill. Bex O'Neill, she was all game about promoting this martyrdom, and this martyrdom, he has 3 groups. He hijacked the bad channel that belonged to 411 Big Boss, and he actually stole that. He and Amanda Allen Blair, they hijacked that bad channel, and then they deleted all the guys' videos. So they just took the whole channel off. So that'll tell you something. If you let Amanda Allen Blair and martyrdom involved, if you get involved with them, you can expect that to happen to you too. But he has another one called We Are the Warning Label and Ask a Jehovah's Witness. And I don't recall the other one. Well, Bex O'Neill, as you can see on her icon, she still has that We Are the Warning Label. But she took on that warning label icon on all of her social media. She promoted their group, Martyrdom's group. And in return for her hard work, he badmouthed her to me and to several other people. he actually didn't want her on the live streams and on the recordings, and he got the guy Rick Excelsior to really treat her bad. I think, did he curse you out or something, to call you a bitch or something one time, or make some kind of misogynistic remarks or whatever? Anyway, he got this guy to do this to kind of, chase her off the show so she would come on the show. And so, this is what you get in return for your loyalty and in exchange for your work. When he asks you to do things and when you do these things for him, in return for that, he's going to badmouth you and shit smear you. So this is how that group rolls. They don't have any kind of gratitude for people. They don't have any social skills really, and they chase people away. They turn people away. They turn people off, and they make people want to not have anything to do with them. So, but there are some people that still are there with them now. It's not like they're completely all alone. But I will say that some of those people, not all of them, I don't know who all is with them, but I will say there are some very highly questionable characters in there, and they're questionable enough for me to certainly stay away. Yeah. And Bex O'Neill, she says, I pissed off many because I wasn't popular enough and my opinion was too big. Yep. Sarah Blaze Hayes said that guy attacked me too. He's a douche. I have screenshots. Really? Oh, Sarah Blaze Hayes, would you mind emailing me them? Because I'm curious. Operation Ultra 2015 at gmail.com. Operation Ultra 2015 at gmail.com. I would love to see them. Bex O'Neill, yeah, I need to change it. I can only do it on a laptop. I forget this logo. Yeah, I know you didn't know how to change it. But the point is, people can still see how far you went. If you guys look at Bex O'Neill's icon there, you can see it says "We Are the Warning Label." She was really into helping them. She went really out of her way. And to treat people like this is disgusting. You're a weak, pathetic piece of shit. You're a weak, pathetic piece of shit coward. And if you're going around calling people, you don't even have the balls to call me directly. You're going around calling the women, telling them that you're going to sue me for having a live stream talking about you. Well, then, motherfucker, get a job so you can pay a lawyer to come sue me. But you're going to have to do it here in California. So you better get yourself some kind of ride and hitchhike your ass, your broke back ass, over here to California. You know my address. You know where I live. I don't hide. I don't go out of my way to hide. So motherfucker, do it. Do it. But I bet you come over here and you start a fucking summons, you better be ready to tango for the next decade, because I'm going to draw that legal case out as long as I can. I don't give a fuck who wins, but you're going to pay your lawyer's mortgage off, and you're going to put every one of his kids through college. You're going to pay all their tuition. I'll make sure of it. I don't give a fuck who wins, but you're going to pay your lawyer's mortgage and his kid's college tuition off, and you're going to pay my lawyer off too. You're going to pay his fees too. So bring it, bitch. I'm going to make your ass get a job yet. Operation Ultra 2015 at gmail.com. Let me type it in there. Can I type it in there? All right. Operation Ultra 2015 at gmail.com. Yeah, Bex O'Neill. This is how Bex O'Neill found out that they were dogging her. So, and you have to remember, this is activism. This martyrdom, he doesn't have a job of its own, but he calls people lazy that don't do exactly the way he wants. He expects everybody to do this every day, all week long. Now, if people don't have a life, they don't have a car, they don't have a job, they don't have money, all they have is their computer, this might work for them. But other people have lives. They have responsibilities. They can't always be there when he wants them to be. So Bex O'Neill, how this went down was that she was moving out of her house, and for a couple of weeks, you know how moving is, right? It's pretty stressful. It's a lot of work, and she has kids too. So it's not like it was just her. She has a family to take care of. She has a life, responsibilities. So for about 2 weeks, she didn't have Wi-Fi. It happens. Well, this guy starts calling her lazy and bad-mouthing her for not being around. Well, motherfucker, life happens and you ain't paying anybody. You're not an employer. These people are working for free for you. They're giving you their time and energy. And this is how you treat them? Like slaves? Who the fuck do you think you are, Marty, whatever your name is? Who the fuck do you think you are? You're nothing, motherfucker. You don't even have a job. You got the gall to call me lazy. You don't have a job, you lazy bastard. Are you projecting? Of course you are. Is that what your wife calls you when she's pissed at you? She calls you a lazy bastard? And now you're coming online and throwing it back at us? Is that what's going on? Your wife is telling you to get a job because she's tired of supporting your trifling ass? You got some fucking nerves. And then you're bad mouthing the vast apostate army. You're just skull dragging these people. Why? They have done nothing to you. All they did was let you on their show and ask you about your Jehovah's Witness experience. And you got mad because people would find out that you're not really an ex-Jehovah's Witness to begin with. You don't have a background experience. That's why you were pissed with them, and that's why you dog them, because you don't want people finding that shit out. Well, guess what, bitch? We already know this about you. You're the last motherfucker to get it. You thought it was a secret? Yeah, some professor you are. No shit, Sherlock. Maybe you need to go back to school and finish your GED and get an education before you go around thinking you're a professor. You're a delusional piece of shit. And I know you're not an XJW. I know you're not. Your wife isn't either. She never claimed to be, but neither one of you are XJWs. And number two, you're just like the Jehovah's Witnesses because your Methodist church hides pedophiles just like the Jehovah's. Same deal. Same deal. So you are no different. You got some nerve yelling at people and hurting people like this. Sour Blaze, did you send that yet? Because I want to read it on the show if I can. Is it okay? Bex O'Neill says he needs to fix his face before opening his whore mouth. See, there she goes, King of Faders. What tab are you trying to close, King of Faders? Okay, Sour Blaze, if you can dig it up, it would be cool. No biggie if you can't. But I've got 14 people. We've got 14 people watching, and I appreciate you tuning in. We are talking about getting harassed, boundaries versus fighting and shunning. All right, and I was just letting this martyrdom know just how I feel, my thoughts on this. Because he's somebody that doesn't have any education. He calls himself a professor martyrdom, but I don't think he's even got a GED. He doesn't really like books. He doesn't have any kind of substantial analytics that he's testing on his thing, on his activism. He doesn't have any kind of, other than just, I don't really know what his goal or objective is really, other than just, yelling at people and trying to make himself elevated over other people. I don't really see any other objective in what he's doing. I know he's using the Jehovah's Witness activism as a cover, but when you look a little deeper beyond it, you don't really see much beyond that surface. Carol Ann Jody in the live chat says, why would someone want to claim to be a JW or an XJW? I don't get people like that. Well, Carol Ann, it's really simple. There are people that claim to be XJW because when they are lonely, they are outcast, they are on the fringes of their family and their community for whatever reason. So when you come in and say, hey, I'm an XJW, you have an instant community. You know, you can literally try this. Try opening up a brand new Facebook profile, name yourself Joe Blow, and go into join all kinds of XJW forums. Introduce yourself as, my name is Joe Blow. I'm an XJW. I'm looking for more support. You're going to have dozens of people friends request you immediately. So, excuse me, if you're a lonely person living out in the boondocks of Texas and Mississippi, you don't have a car, you don't have any money, you don't have a job, you don't have any self-esteem, you don't have any friends, well, boom, you have an instant community here. Now, there's other people that may or may not have friends, but that may be looking for people to manipulate, to control. Same thing, XJW community is a prime target. So anybody can come in here and say, I'm an XJW, and hang out for a while and pick up the nuances and fit right in, right? Well, on a superficial level, that works. But when you get a little bit deeper past the surface, you start noticing things. You know, the more aware you are of things, you start noticing. Number one, these people, they don't ever have a clear backstory. And they get mad or defensive when you start digging and asking. Now, I'm going to say that not every XJW is open about their story, right? Because some of us have some painful stuff. So there are people that are not going to be open about this. But when you have a whole conglomeration of red flags collected together, then you see the big picture. So one single thing of its own is not enough to say that this person is an XJW. But when you have a whole list of things now, a whole box full, then you have a big picture, and then you can say, I highly doubt this person is really an XJW. You know, what can how to what degree can you say you're an XJW? That your mother had a Bible study and you happened to be a little toddler there and you went to the hall a few times? Does that count as an XJW? Is that the same as someone who was raised in it, who wasn't allowed to celebrate Christmas, who got their ass beat if they didn't go out in field service every Saturday? Is that the same type of XJW? You know what I mean? Anybody can say they're XJW. My aunt studied with such and such, and I went to the hall with my aunt for 3 months. Therefore, I'm XJW. No. I mean, yeah, you can technically say that, I guess, right? But to me, XJW means you're somebody who's gone through the struggle. You've gone through the struggle. And for those of us who have gone through that struggle, we know that's the kind of XJW I'm talking about. You've had to have a significant amount of time in, and you had to have significant kinds of experiences. You know, just simply having somebody that you know study and your mama took you to the hall for a few months. All right, you're XJW, fine, but you're not an XJW in the real sense of having gone through the struggle. Okay, not in my book anyway. But hey, maybe someone else will give you that label and help you have some kind of self-esteem on it. Okay, so that's the reason why people join and pretend. You have some that are lonely that need friends, and then you have some that look for people to manipulate, and then you have a combination of both, that they're lonely, they need friends, they don't really know how to socialize, and they need people to manipulate. And there's quite a few of that, because remember, you have these people coming out of a cult that's just like that. So how do you spell his name? Well, he goes by, one of his names is Professor Martyrdom. He sees himself as a martyr. And when you look up martyrdom and narcissism, when you Google those two words together, you're going to have some really interesting mental health websites come up to tell you a bunch of things. All right, Sour Blaze says, the guy whose name is French or something, two of the same words start with EC. I can't remember, but I reckon. Oh, Excelsior. Excelsior. You mean him? I need to search my email, so I need the proper spelling. Excelsior. X O'Neill in the live chat says, they're all skanks. They have no soul, no health care. The struggle is realer than it snowing on St. Patrick's Day. Yup. Bex O'Neill says, Rick the Dick. Oh, goodness. 411 Big Well says, you are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. Look, if you're going to call yourself professor, you can't be afraid of books. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid of books. You can't be afraid of books. You call yourself professor, you're going to have some kind of credentials. That's the way I look at it. You're going to have something you can profess about. You're on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. Well, I guess that's that, Smarty Pants. Smarty Pants, Smarty Pants. Smarty Pants, Smarty Pants. Din, din. Smarty Pants, Smarty Pants doesn't have a GED. Smarty Pants, Smarty Pants. Din, din. Smarty Pants, Smarty Pants doesn't have a high school diploma.
Well, honey, he could get himself one of those diploma mills, honey, for $30. Maybe that's what he's got hanging up in his wall. One of them $30 PhDs from a diploma mill, boo. All you got to do, boo, is just, print that out and put your name on it, honey. And then you can go to the trophy store and put a little gold sticker on it, boo. And then you get a nice little picture frame from Target, boo. And then you hang it on your wall, boo, and show everybody that you're a professor. On this day and age, Professor Martyrdom has received a PhD in rocket science from Diploma Mill University, any town, any city, USA.
Okay, Sour Blaze, whenever you find it, Bex O'Neill says his face is foolish. You know what? His face looks like fucking Armageddon got to it. It's like Armageddon, like Jehovah threw up in his face. Jehovah was so disgusted with him because he was sending all these XJWs back to him, and Jehovah was not pleased. And then Satan got up and threw up on him again. And so he looks like he got thrown up by he looks like he got beat down with the ugly stick. Like, when he was born, the doctor slapped his mama for having him. The doctor was like, oh, shit. Why'd you have this nasty little baby? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he was a pretty cute little baby. Babies aren't ugly, right? Sour Blaze Hayes says he deleted his comment right away. Otherwise, I would show you on YT. Oh, you know what, Sour Blaze? You can get that comment through Google Plus. I think it might still be in there because I do that to the Jehovah's Witnesses all the time. They'll leave comments. They'll be like, they'll be mad in the heat of the moment, and they'll leave these reactive comments, and then they'll hurry up and delete them. But you can go on Google Plus. Go on Google Plus and pull it up because it has an archive in there. Let me see. So you go plus.google.com. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, and then you click notifications on the left. And you click all notifications. Oh shoot, does it keep an archive? Click all notifications and it should come up. I keep screenshots of all these different things when I have troublesome posts. I keep screenshots of them, and this is how I do it. I go into Google Plus because it keeps an archive, even though they delete it. Google Plus will keep an archive. So I've gotten a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses like that when they start trying to dox me and stuff, you know. Oh, it's lovely. And they cringe too, you know. They hurry up and try to delete it, think that they're on the safe side. And then they have a huge bad meltdown when a screenshot of the very thing that they deleted gets tweeted back to them and their whole family and all their coworkers and bosses. Yeah. So yeah, see if you can find it on Google Plus. All right. So where are we? Bex O'Neill says he didn't just fall out the tree, he landed in the forest. Oh, he didn't just fall out the tree, he landed in the forest. Still trying to find his way out. Hey, Potentiality, how are you? Long time no see. All right, Potentiality wants a rundown. What did I miss? All right. So while we're waiting for Sour Blaze Haze, here's a quick rundown. There is a group that calling themselves We Are the Warning Label and Ask a Jehovah's Witness. They also took over the Bad channel. They pretty much hijacked 411 Big Boss's Bad channel. Changed the password. He was nice enough to give them the password and trust them, and they changed it on him and took over and kicked him off. And I had so happened to, when Big Boss was still on, do a couple of shows with them, and I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. He didn't tell me right away, so I was still on the show with these people that had kicked him off, and they were backbiting, shit smearing me behind my back, shit smearing Big Boss. They were shit smearing a lot of people: Denise Hedberg, Joel Marks, Gilbert Gonzalez, Parker Bryan, Denise Hedberg, all these people, right? And I happened to just set boundaries. I unfriended them and I blocked them and I made it known I don't want to be part of them anymore. I'm not going to do any more shows with them. And so this martyrdom, he decides to use Amanda Allen Blair to try and manipulate me. So this Amanda Allen Blair, she pretends to want to help me with my activism. And she comes in my box and says, hey, I'll help you with your projects. And she does that 2 or 3 times until I finally give her a little something. And as soon as that happens, she goes back and tells people that I'm forcing her to help me and I'm making her do all these things. So highly manipulative person. She also tells me about people that are on my friends list and terrible things that they supposedly have done. Really, really terrible, terrible stuff. I mean, to the point where I don't even want anything to do with them because, I don't know what's what. So she sent people, she and Martyr have sent that guy Excelsior, his name is supposed to be Rick. Now this Amanda girl has just dogged him. I mean, she has said so many terrible things about him too. And, she flirted with him just to get him to do things for the channel. And this guy thought that she really liked him, so he took his money all the way from the UK and flew to Texas to try and see her and be with her. And then when he got there, she basically just, it was not what he thought it would be, to put it nicely. And she was just bad mouthing him behind his back while he was there, messaging people, talking shit about the dude. I don't even think he really knows all of what she said. I mean, he's been sent a few salient screenshots, but he was dumb enough to go back and take more of the abuse. So, he's no victim. Nobody feels sorry for him either. So, and then this martyrdom, he yells at the people that are still there. He's this Amanda girl goes around crying to everybody and their grandmother about how this martyrdom is yelling at her. And I'll tell you, he better sleep with one eye open when he's got her in the camp, because she doesn't forgive that. She doesn't forget that, he's liable to have his balls whacked out one night while he's asleep, but by her. But hey, if it happens, nobody's going to feel sad for him, that's for sure. So they keep sending people to my PM box, and they've sent Lady B, Black Sheep's wife, to my PM box and other people's PM boxes to start shit and to try to get me to come back. They've sent Excelsior Rick. They sent him in there. Now they're sending this lady Joyce Taylor and Zeb Leatherman. They've got him trying to get me to come back and telling me this, we need to unify. That's what they use all the time. We all need to unify and be united together, and we all need to stop fighting and unite. And they refuse to fucking respect boundaries. Setting boundaries is not fighting. If you're thinking that it's fighting and you're going around telling people that Bob setting boundaries is fighting, then you are not on a mental health kick. You are lacking in mental health knowledge. Listen closely. I'm not saying you are lacking in mental health, because I'm not a mental health professional to diagnose you. But I am saying you are lacking in mental health knowledge. Thereby, you can deduce that possibly your mental health could be enhanced by understanding boundaries. If you're going around thinking and saying and telling people that boundaries is the same as shunning, or that someone like me who's setting boundaries is shunning and fighting with people, you clearly have no idea about mental health. Healthy boundaries, setting healthy boundaries is something we all must do. And we all are entitled to do it in our own way, as long as it doesn't infringe on other people. Your activism is infringing on other people. It's distracting and it's pulling people back because you are overstepping other people's boundaries. So we've got people in the community that are now wanting to manipulate and twist things. So they want to say that, oh, Bob Smith, he's fighting and he's shunning because he's setting boundaries, because he's putting people on block that try to get him to join this stupid little Ask a Jehovah Witness, we are the warning label clique, or whatever they call themselves now. By this guy Martyrdom. He calls himself quote unquote Professor Martyrdom, and his wife Grace Ghostwriter, and his little bunny girl Amanda Allen Blair, his little pet. Yeah, it is a sad channel, isn't it? It is a sad channel. Yeah, people, and this quote unquote professor doesn't even have an education potentiality. I don't even think he has a GED, and he doesn't particularly like to read. So I don't know what kind of professor this is supposed to be, but it's not somebody that I hold to be credible, that's for sure. It's not somebody that I would give any attention to. At first, before I knew him, I had some kind of respect for him. But the more this time has passed now, the less respect I have for this person. I don't even think I don't even think his wife respects him, honestly. But hey, some women will settle for next to nothing in a guy. They'll support the guy. They'll pay for his thing. They'll work the job while the guy sits at home and watches porn and fucks around on her. I mean, some women are like that. They're a dime a dozen. They're on Maury Povich and Dr. Phil every day. Bex O'Neill says, a lot of people in the XJW community don't know the shit went down, and I've kept quiet and done my little bit with Bob on Twitter, but I don't care no more. Bring it. Yeah. King of Fader says, for the record, I really am a king. LOL. If you're a king, fine, but a real true leader doesn't badmouth people in his camp. That's a sign of weakness and a coward. If you have to bring people down to elevate yourself, you're not a king, you're not a professor, you're not a leader, you're a weak coward. Real true leaders boost the already positive things and talents and skills and abilities that the other people around them have. A real manager, a real leader does that. because it's just plain scientific fact. When the brain is under stress, and stress is created from negative experiences, when you're bringing people down, you're putting them under stress. You're putting the brain under stress. And when the brain is under stress, there is less energy and resources to solve problems and to work and be productive. We all know this. So any smart leader would make sure not to bring people down around him because it induces stress, which takes away from their maximum productivity, which is what you need them to have to do what you need them to do. But an ignorant, stupid, coward leader who has a paper thin ego will get insecure around people that have skills and abilities, especially if they seem to be a little bit more advanced than he is in a particular area. This kind of quote unquote professor gets insecure and he can't stand it. So there's an inner conflict already because this kind of person doesn't have much to profess to begin with. So when he's around other people that are a little bit more knowledgeable and skilled in certain areas, he gets afraid. He gets insecure. He blames them for his stupidity and his lack. I can't have that. So we're going to have to bring them down a few notches. So what he does, he works hard on bringing other people down so he can feel comfortable and elevated, you see. And then he can begin his activism and comfort. Then he can function normally. But as long as there's people that are a little bit more capable than him, instead of being a real smarty pants and utilizing them and boosting those people up so they can give you more, you're all about you and trying to establish your authority over them. And you're fucking up your whole activism game. But maybe that's not even your game. Maybe your game it was to do this in the beginning and you're just using activism as a cover. We've done figured you out. Bex O'Neill in the live chat she says, tells people straight when they're not happy with something and not cuss them out behind their back. Yeah, this martyrdom, he was too much of a coward to tell me to my face that he didn't like that I wasn't showing up for every little thing he had going on. He was too scared and too weak. First of all, he didn't even want me on the show Potentiality. He told people the only reason he tolerated me on the show, that they tolerated me, was because I draw a crowd that people like me, and they can't do that. You see, he doesn't have any social skills. He's too pathetic. He can't draw a crowd like I can. He can't get people involved like I can. Because I actually talk to people in the chat room. When like live streams like this, I'm actually here talking to you. He can't do that. He doesn't have those social skills. So he wanted to use me to fill that need. But at the same time, I told you, he can't stand someone who's better than him at something, right? And we all have people around us that are better than us at something, right? You know, you can't be the best at everything. So if you have a paper thin ego, you're going to have a struggle all the time, especially if you're around talented and beautiful people like we have in our community. We have a lot of talented people that are much smarter than him in many different areas, right? You can't know it all. You can't be it all. Well, in his mind, he has to because he's the professor, you see. A professor knows a lot, right? So he has this complex where he feels stupid and he might even have a real true learning disability. He might be dyslexic. Well, he has this complex about it. It's a very vulnerable, painful complex. And he hopes that nobody sees through it. So what he does, he overcompensates and he tries to intimidate people psychologically so that they don't question him. Because the minute people start thinking of him and questioning what he is and who he is that's when he gets scared. And that's when he starts getting aggressive. You see. So He's basically distanced and driven people away, some really good people, some really talented people, and it's hurt his whole thing. And he's pissed. So he keeps sending these people over and over, in an attempt. But the more he sends it, the more the opposite of what he's trying to get accomplished is happening. Potentiality says, on a serious note, unification of the XJW community under a leader or a group will and should never happen because we left the mind control code. We've broken the conditioning. Exactly. I don't believe we should all unify. I don't believe it. It's cult language to me. It's too culty. Bex O'Neill says, I find the XJW community, it's better to be a lone ranger. Yeah. Yep. I find that to be true too. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this update, letting people know. I'm still going to do some Sister Smith videos, they don't really involve socializing with people or getting into, letting other groups borrow some of my time. But I tell you, I'm definitely going to do just like King of Faders and some of the other solos. I'm not involving myself in any more other shows or with other channels or other people's stuff. You have to be really careful. You really do. You have to really be careful. Carol Ann Jody says, nothing wrong with a good rant. And that's true. And that Pioneer Greg, he was pretty funny, Big Boss. He was pretty funny. So yeah, potentiality. Put some people out. This guy has called people supposedly threatening to sue me, and he was going to sue me for doing a live stream on him. He really scared that lady. He really scared her. She tried to call me on my Facebook several times, but I wasn't around. I was Mr. Calls, and she was really concerned. I mean, he really got her going, and I told her, well, I doubt he really will, but I doubt he has any money, any resources to try and sue. But if he wants to go ahead, he's going to have to come to California to do it. And then he's going to help pay off some mortgages. He's going to pay somebody's mortgage. I don't know exactly which lawyer, but he's going to pay off somebody's mortgage for sure. But people who want to sue, first of all, they have to have a case. And it's obvious he doesn't know the law. Like I said, he doesn't like books. He's afraid of books. He's afraid of cracking open some law books and reading up on what he intends to do to see whether he can actually do it and how he would put that together. So, it's very obvious the guy is a pathetic loser, really. I mean, he's just a drunk, stark raving drunk. He's probably drunk and just going off and pissed because, I had put that live stream up there. So, and he's threatening revenge. He's telling people he's going to get me and he's going to do revenge and all that. But, well, as you can see, I'm still here. And I think you might want to get in line right behind Watchtower because somebody bigger and badder than you with much more money than you'll ever think of having has yet to sue me. So I doubt you with your little peanuts window washing at the corner gas station light, your window washing quote unquote job, where you get a couple of peanuts, is going to help you get over here to sue me. I really doubt that, but hey, good luck. You'll have to wash a lot of windows. Sour Blaze says in the live chat, I can't find it. It was one of the messages that's like multiple paragraphs in all caps. Then, of course, he deleted it, and I know I responded to him, so I may find the aftermath comments. Oh, so Excelsior, was it Excelsior that did that to you? The guy starting with the E, letter E? Was Excelsior yelling at you and stuff? That Amanda girl, she would come to me, and then that her girlfriend too, Cornwall. What is that first girl's name? The first name, Lauren. Lauren and Laura. That girl Laura and Amanda, they would tell me all kinds of stuff about Rick being weird. And Amanda, especially, she would tell me she thought Rick was pervy, and she said that she flirted with him at first, but then he turned weird, and she didn't want to go any further. But then I saw the guy on cam with her after he had came to Texas. He was in her home. Well, not her home. He was in the home of the guy whose couch she's sleeping on. Amanda doesn't have a place of her own. She doesn't have a stable home. She's got two kids on the system, and she doesn't work a job. I mean, she could. I think she could work a job because she can do a whole lot of computer stuff online. So, I mean, she could do some of that stuff for a company and make some money, but she doesn't have a stable place. She sleeps on a couch with some guy. And so she didn't want Rick over there, I guess. I don't know what situation she has with that guy or, what it is. But anyway, they were just bad mouthing this Rick Excelsior Excelsior. I mean, just shit smearing the dude. At the time, I didn't know what he was about, and I felt bad for him, and I eventually told him, sent him the screenshots, and he said he was hurt and all that, but he seemed to not not set his boundaries with him, and he seemed to want to go back for more. So all right. But then he would come in my box and try to enmesh me. He was doing their bidding again, and he was saying, I think you need to send all the screenshots to everyone. Well, mofo, they're about you. The screenshots are about you, and I just sent them to you. So why don't you send them to everybody? Why are you coming to me wanting me to send them? Only because you're doing other people's enmeshing bullshit. That's all. So on click, on ignore, on unblock, he went. And I tell you that Amanda, she has dogged that man, and he just looks like a fool to everybody, because people know, and it's like, if you're that desperate to try and get somebody, you're that desperate after a woman, when clearly you already see what she's about. I mean, she has no respect for you whatsoever, and she's dogging you to everybody, their grandmother, behind your back, and you're still going back. That's pathetic. That is so pathetic. But hey, that's on you. I don't have to do that. I've got better stuff in my life than to have to stoop that low to put up with people that do me that way. Not having it. So that's pretty much the kind of group that you're going to be dealing with, is that kind. They're going to expect you to put up with things that you really shouldn't, and they're going to feel entitled to take certain liberties with you that they really shouldn't. And if you stick around, it's going to increase. They're going to be like, okay, well, since you let me kick you in your face, how about I just slice your throat this time? And then you're still there? Oh, good. Now that I've kicked you in your face and you let me slice your throat, I'm going to stab you in the back. And you're still here? Oh, good. That must mean you like it. That must mean I'm okay. It must mean it's not wrong to do that. So you're teaching people how to treat you. So, hey. King of Phaedra says the best XJWs are the ones you barely hear from. You know what, King of Faders? I think you might be right. Carol Ann Jody says, that is so true, Bex. I don't see it in the other X communities. Let me see. What did Bex say? What? It's one of the worst X cult communities. It's become a popular contest. Really? The 411 Big Boss says, as soon as I handle my personal affairs, I'm doing a channel again. Well, Big Boss, you're living good right now, man. You've got some really nice things happening in your life. And don't worry about this XJW shit. You know, you've got some really great stuff going on. And there's enough XJWs doing activism. I don't really think anyone is needed anymore because so many people already doing so much. Yes, it's good if you're in there and you're doing things. You're definitely contributing, right? But it's not like you're the only one. It's not like there's a shortage of activists. At least that's how I see it. I don't really see my stuff being needed, desperately needed, and urgently needed. I think it does good, but there's so many other people doing things that I don't place that big of an importance on myself. Your ego sometimes can get in the way. You can start thinking that what you're doing is the only truth and everyone needs to do it this way and everyone needs to join. You can start getting the same cult thing that you came from. And we all tend to have this self-serving bias where we are a little too optimistic about our skills and abilities. Or we can run the other way where we're too pessimistic, and it's hard to find a middle pillar where you realize, yes, what you're doing is super important, but it's not like you're super needed in the community. Like, it's not like the community is not going to go on without you. It's not like the exposing is going to stop the minute you're not around. That's not how it is. So, a good middle pillar view of your role in this is vital. Bex O'Neill says, that Robin guy we know on Twitter has a lot of support from his community. Yes, Carol, it's so messed up you get more help from an automatic door. There's no loyalty or respect unless you're popular. Yeah, you see, that's it. The XJW community looks at who's popular and they follow this person. And this person may not be a good role model to follow, okay? This person may be doing a few good things, very, very good things, but they're only human. And to immediately follow everything they do or to accept what they do, everything that they're doing, it's a fallacy. It's wrong. You can end up in trouble with that, depending on who you're following. King of Fader says, a lot of new YouTubers are doing good stuff. And the wash towel is printing tat in the magazines now. My channel is irrelevant. They're printing the truth about the truth? Really? Wow. 4-1 Big Boss. I never claimed to be the baddest, but I'm in the top 3. Potentiality in the live chat says, yeah, but it never hurts to add another voice. Plus, it can be therapeutic to speak out now and then. Yes, exactly. And that's a part of why I do the Sister Smith stuff, because it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic for me. And, some people do feel like it gives them a little bit of therapy, at least for the time being. They can laugh and have a little fun, right? So, yeah. Bex O'Neill, I miss live streaming, but I'm done dealing with the fakeness. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yep, that's true. Mop Floyd says, Bex, funny how things don't change much. Yep, sitting straight 12. Welcome. Sitting straight 12. I almost said sitting Satan. Sitting straight 12. Yo, hobo, we humans, we think we need a representative for us, whether it's religion or politics. Yeah. It's called codependency. And the codependency, most people are children in adult bodies. They're still needing mommy and daddy. And even if they're 50, 60 years old and their physical mother and father has passed on many years, they're still looking for mommy and daddy. And it reflects in their language. Father so-and-so, right? The Catholic Church, they call him Father. Father Smith, Father O'Kelly, Mother Mary. You see that? It's still little children. Jehovah's Witnesses, you call them elders, governing body, but it's the same deal. They're your daddies, your mommy and daddy, the mother organization. You have it even in music. You have George Clinton in Parliament where they talk about the mothership. Louis Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam, they believe that the black race comes from aliens, from a mothership, a UFO. Mothership. You see? We even have it in science. You think the scientists aren't religious? Think again. Mother Nature. Father Time. So we have a problem of spiritual codependency. And you have people taking it all the way up into their spiritual path where they call what they conceive of as God, Father God, and He is our Heavenly Father. You see, it's still a codependency. You still have not become your own mother and father. You still have not set up your own internal mother and father. And many people are still little children spiritually and emotionally, and they're still codependent. You even have the codependency on people's spouses. You have people that look to their spouse, their wife, or their husband as a mother or a daddy. You still have that. So it's natural when you have people in the community, and this smarty pants, he's trying to become a daddy to people, but he's an abusive daddy. And it's fine if people want that, if people look for that and they want to do that, that's fine for them. But I'm my own daddy, and you don't have any credibility here. You don't have anything to offer me, and you're not getting anything from me. You lost out. When you dogged me, Martyr and Amanda, when you people dogged me behind my back and did what you did, you lost a good friend. You lost a very good resource. And that's a fact. And that's the way it stays. Life has consequences. You should know that. This is what being an adult and being responsible is about. There are things you do in life that have consequences. And you're sorry, apology accepted. Move on. Okay? You feel like you have some kind of guilt or some kind of pain over this and you want to keep saying you're sorry. Okay, fine. You're fucking sorry. Now move the fuck on. You're not sorry, because if you were, you would respect my boundaries. You wouldn't be bothering with me. But okay, you're sorry. Good for you. Now move on. The hard part is forgiving yourself. All right, everybody. I'm going to go. I just wanted to briefly talk with you, and hopefully this live stream won't be blocked by copyright, and everybody can have full access to it. All right, everyone. I want to thank you for tuning in. We've got 12 people watching. And we had a great crew show up in the live chat. BA Watchtower Education, 411 Big Boss, King of Faders, Mop Floyd, Carol Ann Jody, Southern Boss Lady, Sour Blaze Hayes. Let's see. Who else did we have? I don't want to leave out anyone. Did we say King of Faders? King of Faders, Bex O'Neill. I want to make sure I don't leave anyone out. Sitting Straight 12. Yes. All right. So I think I've got everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, setting healthy boundaries is part of mental health. It doesn't mean you're fighting. It just means you're setting boundaries. And sometimes it means you have to block people and eliminate them from your life. It also isn't the same as shunning. Setting healthy boundaries is not the same as shunning. Shunning is eliminating people from your life for smoking, for not being part of your religion, for drinking, okay, for whatever it is your church says, okay. Shunning is avoiding people and shunning people for not following a particular religious path. That's not the same as setting boundaries, okay. Setting boundaries, setting your own personal boundaries, is not necessarily for people not following a religious path. Especially in my case, I'm not religious, so you can't compare the two. I don't care what religion you are, as long as you respect me and my boundaries. Setting boundaries is also not fighting. When you put someone on block, you no longer have anything to do with them, so therefore you cannot fight. A fight requires engagement. You can't fight with someone who's not there. Okay? That's just pure logic. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one, and I appreciate everyone listening and stopping by, and have a good rest of the week. The week is almost over. We're right in the middle of it. It's almost over. All right. Thank you, and have a good one.